Okay, it looks like we are up and running. Looks like, always. Looks like, let me get chat enabled over here so I can actually see. Hang on just one second. Okay, come on. Okay, do this. Everything was working a second ago. And then, of course, it just doesn't. Okay, come on. There we go. Why it takes Facebook so long to connect is just beyond me. Let's see. Want to be me. There we go. Okay. So today we are taking what we learned. Camera's a little crooked. What we learned about 2 weeks ago when we went over the art of autumn wreaths. And I said, go, like once we conducted the class, I'm like, go get all your stuff. And then we'll come back and we'll do a class and we'll assemble everything based on what you've learned. And so today is that class. So this one for today is Mastering the Crescent, which is usually my favorite. I'm not a fan if I'm going to use a fairly pricey base to cover it all with florals. I'd rather find an inexpensive base and add florals to if I was going to do a full one. So today we're going to kind of follow what we've learned in that class and assemble it based on the criteria of the way that you go about assembling a floral grapevine. So let me make sure I have everything. Hi, Jan. Hi, Pam. Hi, Elizabeth. And as you guys come in, say hi. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down because we don't have to go through all the other fluffy stuff. Just remember, if you want to save a copy of this, go ahead and hit that share button, do a quick copy paste to your page, and make sure you download it. So don't let those pile up, because you should be getting some notifications saying that videos that you might have placed on your page are being deleted. So you need to download that content. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I love making florals. If I could do these all day, every day, I would be a happy camper. Let's go ahead and square that up. Make sure we are all straight. I think we're straight. I'm just bugged by the slightest little thing. So I've already cleaned the grapevine. If you need the tutorial on how to do that, you can go to the website, catscreationsandmore.com, and there is a video there that you can download for free. It's how to clean a grapevine, which is just standard protocol at this point. So this is an 18-inch grapevine. Hi, Valerie. An 18-inch grapevine from Hobby Lobby. You guys know that my favorite used to be Joann's, so Hobby Lobby is now going to be my next second choice. And so I have a whole bunch of greenery out here, and I was like, okay, if I was to follow along using the notes that I gave you from the class, and I'm getting back here, we've already covered the first two part of the page. We looked at defining a greenery map, and a greenery map basically gives you an outline. It's kind of like in a coloring book, and you have the outline. The outline shows you where the picture is, and then you're going to go back and you're going to fill in whatever colors you want based on that outline. So a greenery map does the same thing. It sets our silhouette, which in my case is going to be a crescent, because I want part of the grapevine exposed. I'm not adding a bow. I'm not adding a sign to this one. It is just going to be full florals. And then you've got to decide if we're doing a crescent, which means basically like a giant C. Is our floral going to all go in one direction? Is it going to cascade down? Is it going to split? Well, in my case, I want it split. So it's going to start from here, from about midway. The top is going to flow in this direction. The bottom is going to flow in this direction. And then we're going to leave some openness here so that you can tell that the base of this is built on a grapevine. And it says, so we're looking at what our greenery map does, shows direction and flow, builds depth, because we're going to be layering our greenery, and we're also going to be coming in layering our florals, and then we're going to be adding the details, which is like our jewelry. Okay, and so it says basically how to start. It says line your greens. So by picking your greens, they want something that is long and thin. So that could be things like a eucalyptus stem. So this is long and thin. You could come in, let's see, I think I cut one of these. You could come in boxwood eucalyptus. You could come in with something like this, which is a fire fern, whichever one you want. These are going to help us establish our outline, our guideline. So I'm going to start mine with this. It's kind of like a sagey. It's transitioning from the summer into the fall. So I'm going to be using, actually I'm going to be using all three of these, but I'm going to use the boxwood to establish my line on this crescent. So, and this boxwood came from Amazon. I'll put all the links. Those will all be in the materials list for everything that we have here. And so what we're going to do at this point, put those back, is we're going to establish our line. Now this pick is only wired to this portion, which means that I can give it some direction if I'd like. So what I kind of want is, as it goes into a C right here, I just kind of want it to cascade softly. I don't want it to kind of go all the way up. I want it to kind of bend down as it gets towards the end. So the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to figure out where are we going to do the bend. At what point is it going to stop? And so you can take your greenery and just kind of place those in. I kind of like this direction here for going in. Lord knows we don't need a pick that long. So I'm going to take it down by half. I'm going to go ahead and dip this in my glue skillet. I'm going to slide this right in. And then I can go ahead and just add some movement right here. Not crazy movement, but just enough to kind of give me a soft line. And I'm kind of working with the natural weird bend that's in that anyway. Okay, then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to kind of follow suit here. Again, don't need that much of our pick. I think I'm leaving about a 3-inch stem. I'm going to kind of come in here. So this will tell me this is how far I'm going to go with this. It's going to stop here from this point. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of come in here and just allow these to kind of fall in a natural line. I want this to be the longest piece, and then I want to dial it back as we get closer to the curve. This one I've already cut. So right about in here, I want to kind of pull that back a bit. Let's go ahead and redo this. Okay, go ahead and go on in, just like that. And I'm going to be turning it as I go, bringing this up ever so slightly. I'm going to try to pick up my stuff as I go along. Okay, so here is my front. Kind of bringing it in here, just looking at where do I want it to go. Okay, bringing this back in. So I've got it sweeped out here. We're kind of curving this around. I'm going to do the same for the top right now. I'm going to have this one define where I want it to end. So it's going to be like the bottom. I'm going to go right underneath here. Hate that I started it under that branch. So I'm going to go back a bit so I can get it a little closer to where I'd like it to be. Okay. Still coming in. I want it to kind of cascade out and around like this, kind of like in a clock shape pattern. So bring this one in, just like that. Again, and do the sweeping arch. I'm going to bring this up here. Okay, I want it to end right about there. So I'm going to bring this in. Okay, and I think I have a piece or two that goes right in here, just like this, which is going to give me my outline. Okay, cutting that off, coming in here. And I said I wanted it to kind of go in here. See if I can get it to go. There we go. Okay, so there is my sloppy outline. I know it looks weird right now. So this is helping me to define my shape. This is the way that I want it to go. So if I wanted to, we could go this way. We could change the direction and just sweep it all this way. But I like them a little longer. So as you can see, here's my lines. I want to pull this one over a little bit. So I'm going to grab my binding wire so that I can help redirect this a little bit more over here. So I'm just going to insert that. Do a little twist, twist. Binding wire is great for those. It's like flyaways on our hair, okay? So that is my line. So this is my outline for my design. I know I'm not going to put anything in here. We're not adding a bow. So everything in here, this is our bones, our structure. Now we need to come in with our greenery, and this is what we call our body greens, magnolias, maple leaves, fall leaves, something that's going to give some shape and some coverage for our greenery is what we're doing next. So I am coming in with a couple different colored boxwoods. I have some that are like these that I want to bring in, have a little bit of a tinge color to the pink. I am going to remove those, and I'm staying inside my lines. So I'm going to add these to the inside. You're going to see what that's going to do once we work with our outline. I don't want to go beyond our outline. I just want to stay within the borders of what's there. Really wish that would just curve the tips because they have no point. Just kind of wants to do its own little thing. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these and take these down a bit. And I'm just going to add a couple of these to fill. And we can fill inside, we can fill outside. These right now are just kind of filling in different color, different texture. They don't have to even be all the way, you know, they don't have to come to a point. Like right here, I've cut the end of my pick. So I'm just going to take this so it doesn't come and roll off. I'm going to bend that over. So that's as far as that's going to go. It's going to come in right here. Right in between. And this is why we clean our grapevines. So we're staying inside our lines. I'm going to push this one all the way up. Okay, I'm going to take this around since this is what I'm seeing, or this is what you're seeing. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one in here, just like this. Okay. I'm going to go right underneath with that one. Same thing. remove this. If I've taken the end off of it because it's much too long, just take your needle nose pliers and bend that around. I bent the wire, but the plastic is not there. And I'm going to bring this one in right here, right under this branch. Kind of going to the inside, right in here. Doing the same down here. Gotta kind of bring that in. So it's kind of like a little formula for how to put together your grapevines. So if you follow your formula, you can't really go wrong. Same thing here. Gonna push these down. Gonna take my end, flip these around. I believe these greenery, the two-tone boxwood that I'm using, I think I got these from the granary market, and I've had them for a while. I've just never really had a design where I can kind of come in and add those. We're going to add those there. So we're just laying in our green base. Well, in this case, it's our fall color base, staying inside our lines. Okay. Let's see. I have, I'm trying to dig through all the greenery I brought out, and Lord knows why Cat grabbed every conceivable color of greenery and decided to bring it all out at the same time. Okay, I'm going to bring these picks in, which are individual little ones. I do. I have one. Let's see. If we bring this in, where did I yank you from? I'm going to grab these and kind of come in here with this. I don't really have any more of our peachy tones, so we're going to kind of come in, which is not going to pose a problem. Ooh. So stay in our lines. Let's grab another one of those for the lower half, kind of right in here. Let's see, did Cat plug in her glue gun? She did. Because remember I told you that sometimes your picks will they like to come off. When they do, they just kind of get a little loose. So I find that if we just glue, when they pop off, they'll have a tendency of staying a little bit better as we go around. So let's add this. And there we go. That is the rest of the filler here. Okay. Before we add these, I'm going to add in some of our eucalyptus, and I have two sizes. So this is the one that I got from Hobby Lobby when it was on sale. This was $9.99 regular. When it was on sale, I think I got 40% off, but I think right now their fall florals are 50% off. So we're going to kind of come in here. I kind of like the way that looks right in the center. So just move things around until they find a look that you like. Like I like that in the center. Kind of playing within my lines, right? Sometimes you might even want to go inward. I think I want little, like smaller diameter for that. I'm going to bring this in under here. So kind of like right in here, but I want it under. So I'm going to have to kind of get creative in how I master that. So just right underneath. Going to kind of push that in. Get these two kind of work together. Okay, and I'm going to bring one in here. Don't go outside your lines. So if my line's in here, I want to make sure that everything else ends here. Which means that if I want to bring these in, they're going to kind of need to go and mix in. So they'll kind of be something that looks a little bit like that. I don't know why I make things overly complicated. It's like, just stick it in there and then figure out what you're going to do with it. Which means just maneuver your picks all around. I'm still within my lines. I haven't exceeded. Okay. Do the same thing right up in here. Having things just kind of fall off my counter. So right in here for that. Go ahead and tuck that in. And I think once we establish our guidelines, just knowing that keeps our design from looking like it just went a little crazy. Let's see, I want 2 more pieces off of that pick. So here's a smaller. Okay. And like I said, I have ones that are much thinner that we're going to come to the inside. So I'm going to use the thicker to the outside, keeping my sizing accurate. I got this weird branch right here. So I'm trying to get that to line up. I think that'll work. Okay. Bring that in. Gotta kind of bring it around a little bit. And bring this one in. And then we're going to start layering on top into the inside. Just like that. Last piece goes here. Hi. Mike's already come by. Ah, you brought me a pumpkin something something. You're just so amazing. I have not had an opportunity to go to any of the foo-foo places to get pumpkin spice anything. And my wonderful husband just came in and brought me one on his way home. So I was like, you so totally right. You're right there. Let me look. Take one more off of here. Today is the perfect day for that too. No, I'm not going to use that one. Okay. So now, remember I told you I have much thinner eucalyptus that I want to use on the inside. So this is that. And so this is the ones that I'm going to bring some color to our inside. But we don't need them that long. So now, I'm going to kind of come in here, just like this, with those golden eucalyptus. And they are not wired, so they're just kind of flippy flop. So I'm going to bring one down here, right about here. And I'm also going to like add these as well to the inside, or to the outside, just so we have that color in there. And I'm going to bring that one right up in here. See how we are adding the color? We're greening our base. This is what that term came from. It's just layering in your greenery, because you won't be able to do this afterwards once you have everything else in place. Okay. Same thing, I'm going to come up here with this one. And normally I go pretty heavy on my greenery. You guys have seen me do that before. Come in really thick. But I am trying to stay with the guidelines that we established with the class in doing that. So I'm following my own notes to see how well that works. Okay. Some of them are just... I'm pretty picky when it comes to my greens, or in this case, my autumns. Right, Valerie? She said Steve's the best. And it was funny because we've been so busy all weekend, and I thought, oh, I'll probably get there through the weekend. No, I got too aggressive on a project and decided we must finish all that this weekend, because I don't want it to roll over. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with this one. It's going to be our last piece on the inside. I always like a little softer on the inside. So we're going to go right in here, just like this. Okay, let me get these out of the way since we cut all these down. And I'm going to save some for the outside, but this is what I would call our body greenery. And it says that we can come in with detailed greenery, but I prefer to do that at the end because I like to look where there are spaces so that I can fill. Okay. And one of the things that's really, really important about our greenery is we want to avoid what's called railroad symmetry, which is everything is lined up. Like it all stops here, it all ends here, it all does this. No, it should flow really nicely through the whole thing. So now it's going to line up inside the framework that we already have. So let me pull all these out. So we've already done that. We've done, hang on a second. We've done that. We've done that. Come on. Because I'm getting ready to add in. And the color palette that I'm going with today, it's the Harvest Spice. So I'm kind of picking within this color palette, a little less green, more oranges, burgundies, cranberry colors. That's the color palette that I'm going with. Just in case you guys are wondering. And, okay, I'm still like pulling these. Here we are, fall florals. Okay, so we're coming in with the same thing. We're going to lay in our guidelines. And so when I was at Hobby Lobby, I picked up these colored. They're kind of like sunflowers, so I like that rusty colored. So we're going to pick anywhere from 3 to 5, and that's going to be our focal. These are the largest flowers that I'm adding into this design. And I like using the greenery because this is that avocado sagey color. So same thing. We want to add those, but don't add them so close. We want to kind of float them out so that they have some movement. I've already cut a couple of them. So we're going to kind of come up here with this one. Let's see. Taking my stems down to about 3 inches. And I'm going to bring that one in. And I like my focals to be a little close to the center of my crescent. And then it's like fan out with some mediums down here. Feathering the edges all the way down with smaller varieties. So I'm kind of coming in. I want this one kind of off to the outside a bit. So like right in here. So that when you're looking at it from the front, I think I'm going to actually go with 5. Normally I would go with like a 3. But what do you guys think of that color added into this greenery base so far. Oh, pumpkin anything right now is so good. That's all I keep seeing on all my recipe feeds. Okay, so it's going to leave me with 2 left out of here, which is fine. Taking our stems down. I'll probably bring this one, just kind of move them, you know, just kind of, do you want it here? Do you want it up here? I'm thinking like, I can't decide here or here. I think I'm going to go low to the outside. That's where I'm going. Right in here. So we have something to look at. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Here's where it's at so far, ladies. Take the stems down. And then I think, let me look. I kind of want this one right in here. Right about here. Kind of coming to the inside a bit. So there's my 5 focals. Boom, boom, boom. We go with odd because our eyes are naturally drawn to things that are odd shaped. Again, having florals with greenery adds to our greenery base automatically. Then we're going to come in with our medium florals, which are, ta-da! Cat went back to these. So we're going to use some, I haven't quite decided if we're going to use all of them, not all, but meaning all the colors. So I don't know. I mean, I like the orange. Like here's one of them broken down where we're staying in that color palette. I like the pop of orange because it's bringing a deeper, darker orange. So now we're going to add our fillers because now we've got our line established. Now we can bring these in and we can kind of play around with what we'd like. These ones have weird, they have a different color greenery. I'll save that, but that's more summer. But I like this peachy tone. And I'm kind of coming down here. I like to not go like too matchy-matchy. Like don't come in with a whole bunch of mums all right close together. I'm going to pull this bottom leaf kind of down. Just going to spin it so that we can get this one to sit up a bit. Okay, we want that cream color. So I'm going to bring this one probably right about there. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the end. Oops. There we go. Tuck and go right inside with that little cream colored mum. I'm kind of feeling, what color? Break it up. Let's see. I'm going to break these up. Okay, so they come this way to where you get a single by himself, and then you have these. So I think I'm going to take this way down so I can work with it. I kind of like the way that looks, but I really would like to split them. So I'm going to cut the lighter color off. And we'll pick it. I'll put it on a pick machine because I want some space between them. So I'm trying to get this one in far enough. This might be our Flop in the Breeze one. And then I'm going to bring these up. Just bring the greenery up. It's weird. This one must have gotten glued to the bottom. So I'm going to kind of bring this one down here, like the autumn color. Gonna kind of take and tuck, because I don't like the way the leaf is just sticking straight up in the air. Hang on to that. Here's our peachy one again. Gonna pull this one down. These were from Amazon. So I'm just kind of having some that kind of come down. And then I want to bring this, I think, somewhere like in here is where I'm feeling it. So let's see, what can we do? Can we remove that? Can we add this to a stiffer stem? We might. Ooh, yes, we did. So I took off that weakling little stem, and now I can put this right where I was thinking, like right about here, to bring in a softer color. I'm trying not to be too matchy-matchy on the colors. Like, you know, this is kind of our burnt rust. We have some peach. What else? I'm going to save that extra stem in case I need to go thin again. Okay, then I can use it. Let's see. We've added that. I'm going to stay away from that for now. Let's add in some additional colors. And so I had ordered these from Amazon. So these are kind of that cranberry color. So I'm going to use the ranunculus from here because it's that orange color palette. And this will help break up the monotony of all those florals being the same. So I'm going to go right underneath this branch. And then lifting it up. I'm going to grab the other one. I'm going to take this one down towards the bottom. It's probably going to come in right about here. So it's slightly a little bit of a push-up pick. Might bring this up further, like right in here is what I'm thinking. Right. Trying not to stick my hands in the glue. I'm going to pull this one down. Making sure all of our florals stay glue-free. These will end up getting pushed down. We've got some interesting little pom-poms. They're almost like mums. I'm just playing with like, okay, what needs texture? What needs a little bit of pop of color? Like, that's too matchy to me. I think I'm going to bring this one to the outside because that's still too matchy in here. So I'm going to bring these over. Okay, got to find a hole. There's an awful lot of greenery right there. But once we go past our greenery, we found a hole. Okay. So there's that. We'll grab the other This one's a little bit more red. It already has some greenery in it. Let's see. Kind of like the idea of it being there. That is really pretty here too. This is like, sometimes florals are hard because it's like, wish I had more. But I also like the fact that it forces me to think you only have a limited quantity of what you have to work with. So you have to make those work with what you have. So if you only have 2, got to be really precise where you want to put those. These are kind of interesting, these little berries. Not sure I'll use them in the design. I have some other things in mind. Okay. Then I found these at Hobby Lobby. These are gorgeous. So these are like meadow flowers with your greenery already picked and mixed in. I like them because lots of texture, little berries, lots of greenery, different colors. So I'm not going to use the yellow, but these I think are all push up. So we can push them up. If there's things in here you don't like the long, thin things, cut them off. I removed one just because I wanted that to stay. I'm going to cut my stem down. I'm going to use these for that feathered effect at the beginning. Meaning, right in here, this is where it's going to go. So we went from focal, medium, it's kind of fading into our softer, smaller look. So I'm going to really push those right up into the end. I didn't go past my lines. Here's my lines already established. Okay. Bring that around. I know I still have holes. That's okay. We're going to do another one right here. I'm going to look and see, what do we want to pull? Let's go ahead and grab this. I'm going to take some of these out. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Knock this down. Hang on to those. This is driving me crazy. Okay, so we're going to feather these up to our line. It's kind of like, well, we made it right up to our line. We want to make sure we're bringing everything up that way so that it has a nice graduated look. And now we can come in and fill with all the fun stuff. So we have focal, we have our medium, we've added some roses, some pom-pom kind of flowers. They're probably chrysanthemums. Now we're going to go in and backfill all these spaces, but not like crazy backfill. So this is like your details. So let me separate some of what I have already so that they're not all mixed in with everything else. I'm thinking these are a little too, yeah, like I have these. I don't like them. They're too bright orange. That to me feels like Halloween orange. So I do have 2 of these, which I love. So I'm going to bring these in right here on the ends with our focal bunch. So they're going to kind of come in here just to give a little bit of a soft peach texture. Again, from Amazon. So I'm going to start these way back, but I'm going to tuck them around everything else that is going on here. So I'm just going to weave them through all our greenery, just like that. Trying to get those. There we go. Nope. It just does not want to lay with that ranunculus. There we go. Okay. So added that just for a nice little touch. take this down. This is going to kind of come in right here. So doing that. Right in there. Stay in our coloring lines. There's that. Okay. So we looked at fall flowers could be sunflowers, mums, hydrangeas, dahlias, camellias, which almost looks like that's what that is. I have some Chinese lanterns, so I'll show you what those look like. Anything else that is a warm-toned flower can definitely be that. Our supporting flowers were marigolds, ranunculus, cosmos, which I don't have any of them here, or anemones. That's kind of like what these look like to me, is anemones. And now we're going to add our fillers. My favorite part. It's the details. So, Kat, what do you have picked out for us for the details? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Because I went to Hobby Lobby and I found some of these little pom-poms. Textures. I don't always stay with the same. So here's little orange pom-poms. So Hobby Lobby for both. Let's see. I'm going to take a large stalk off. I'm going to remove the leaf because I like these down here. So they've already got some stuff built in, but I'm going to pull the greenery down a little bit so that they don't get lost. But oh, look at how fun that is, just adding a different element, a different layering. So I'm going to bring these in. And these are going to kind of come in right about here. Oops. Again, if you need to, redirect. So I'm going to bring some of those around. Those are going to be fun things that move in the wind. Let's see. I always want to try to find ones that have more than one. You can even bring these to the outside of your coloring lines. So I'm trying to get this up off my mat, like right in here. Bring that in, which is I think what I'm going to do right in here. I got to stay within my border, so I like that. So I push it up, trim them back. And I'm going to kind of tuck this in here with that long leaf texture. And gonna kind of go straight in here and then just move everything else around. Stay within your borders, stay within your lines. Move this one up, and I'm gonna move him down so we can see our florals. But look how we're filling that, and we're not filling it like overcrowding it. We're filling it full of fun and fillers. Okay, you guys gonna separate? Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna add some, because I have this gap right here. So I'm looking, usually I go right underneath, but look how fun that is. Just to add that right in here to fill the gap right here with something fun. So I'm gonna leave my stem a little long so that I can kind of come in and line those up so that I can get them right in that space that we have. And I'm looking for another one with two. Some of them just kind of get all crazy mixed up. Okay, I'm going to take these longer ones out. I'm going to kind of bring this in right about here for fill. So right, it's going to kind of go right in here. So we have ones that are just going to kind of dangle down below, like so. Let's go pull that out. And I've done things the old-fashioned way, like I put everything in place and then I'm like, ooh, that turned out really pretty. Now I have to take it all apart and glue it. What I've learned, just trust your gut. Just go with whatever you think you're going to feel. I'm going to add a couple of these wispier ones. Let's see. Kind of feeling it like right in here. Just like so. We'll probably bring one right in here so that it's right about there. Nice big hole. That always makes for adding florals so much easier. Okay. I'm just kind of coming around and looking, what else do I want to put in where? I think I want to add one. Like filling in my coloring line. But I want it on the top. And I'm looking at like, okay, what gets lost? If I push all that in, we kind of lose some of the leaf. But let's just make that one stay right where it's at, so we don't have to pull that out. Okay, pom-poms, done. We have some berries, because it's all about details and different things. I think we're going to use about 4 of these. Again, Amazon for the win. They actually came what's called a fall floral bundle, and I thought, well, that's fun. Somebody actually thought through some things, and I like those berries right there. So that's where they're going. So just right up against there. Again, feathering and filling are outside. We'll do one at the bottom down here. First of all, I'm looking to see, do I want to go under this branch? Like if I pull it, yeah, that works. Okay, so we don't need one quite that long, Kat. Tone it down. Thanks, Elizabeth. She said, all of your florals are beautiful. You know, once you just start working in a color palette and you just start walking around the store and you look for things that are in the same, like I knew that I liked these and I was like, everything can't be matchy-matchy. Believe it or not, I was picking things up and I'm like, oh, that's the same color as what I have. Gotta pick different. Gotta add something outside of the ordinary. Okay, now we're gonna add some to the inside here. Just for something different and fun. And I know there's still that hole right there. And now you guys can see it right here. We're gonna find something for that. I just haven't felt something for there just yet. This one's a little too large to use. So I think I'm looking. I think that goes there. So let's go ahead and just run that pick in. Okay, there's that. I also have, yeah, we didn't even use the firegrass. And there were some florals that I was like, oh, I don't really think they're gonna work, but we'll try them anyway. Okay, I have a couple more berries. I have some lighter berries. Whoops, that one popped off. We need to glue that. So here's some lighter tones. Amazon. Well, let's just throw them all in there. Okay, so let's glue this one, because once they come off, they always come off. What do you guys think so far? Do you think following something like this, it would be easy enough for you to do? I like that at the very, very end down here too. Just like that. It just like, it completes that look. Let's take one of the darkers. And even though no one can see that, kind of looking, I might come in here with some firegrass and fill in there. Let's bring some of this in to the outside here. And I'm going to add another piece of the softer berries, kind of coming in right underneath these, just so that it's light. I like things that move, because then I know when it gets breezy, you get that movement going through there. And just looking at different colors with different things. I think I'm going to bring that one in here to the outside, right in here. And I think we're going to bring some to the inside, like right in here, like right up there, right underneath that sunflower. It's got too big of a hole right there, so I'm going to bring it down a bit so I can get it to end where I want it to end. Okay, let's look at some firegrass and see. Oh, this looks so pretty. So I'm going to bring some of this in, and I can trim it way down so that it ends right within my color. So I'm going to put this right in here, just like that. I also have some fern that we can add in as well, but I want to add a couple pieces of this just because movement in all the things. So you can kind of come in and create a little bit of a bundle if you want, and add more than one piece so they're like a little grouping. If I do that, I need to pull that way back, which is what I'm gonna do. So I can, these are wired, so I can pull them so they go in alignment. Plus it looks better when they're in a pair. Like, look, there's the pair of them at the bottom right here, instead of just a single. So that's what we're gonna do. Now I'm gonna bring some in over here. Let's fill in our lines. So I'm gonna come in with more than one. If you want, you can peel off the bottoms to give you a little bit of a stem. Just like that. We can come in with the fern. So this is another one of those picks from Amazon. So they have really long bottoms and really fun tops. So I think I'm going to bring this in right in here. Just like so. Once I get it, because I love the way it moves. It's kind of got a little S shape. So right in here, I'm gonna hold on to my stem, bring that right up underneath. Let's see. Let's add another one of these in that space. Now I'm just filling in the outsides. So remember all of our lines? I am just now filling all those areas. There we go. All the areas where we have a connection point. Like some of them might feel a little sparse, so just kind of come in and bring in something a little bit different. Like, I love that. Let's bring that in. I'll bring this one in right underneath here, just so we can have a little bit of the fern. Let's get rid of this. It's getting crazy again. Getting all crazy. So, like I said, all the flowers came from Hobby Lobby or Amazon. And Amazon will send them to you like this. So everything is just in here. So like some berries, some pom-pom flowers, like just different colors. Here's some brown, here's the orange, and they're beaded. So you can just take those, hang on to them, and sometimes it's just a matter of like throwing in a couple here and there. So I'm coming back in with some more firegrass right up under here. Filling my holes. Got to keep them right in line. Bring it right in. So we have our little grouping right there. And I know I still need to fill this. Still thinking. I'm still working on the outside though. Making sure I have all of my filler. Like I've connected all of my lines. I've like stayed within the line on the outside. Let's use one of these bigger berries. Great. That was a small berry. I was like, what the heck happened? I pulled a bigger one. We'll bring this in, right in here. We'll add a berry. And because we need it, is it going to slide there? Let's make it smaller. It doesn't want to go. I already have too much already flowing in that general direction. So there's that. Okay. I think we're going to go with a cream colored mum right here. Is what I'm thinking. And remember, our cream colored mums don't have a long stem. Remember, those are the baby ones. They're all stuck on their little piece, but let's cut the bigger one off this time. So we have a small, and let's see how this works right in here. Kind of like that. I'm thinking. And sometimes I just go and I just randomly stick things in different places. Like I think I kind of like that. Let me see if I have something else out here that we can already use that I haven't used. Oops, I forgot these. Look at these things. They're like little wispy things. Don't know what they're. I'll identify them later. kind of come in here. Let's just lift and tuck that right in. And I'm thinking I'm going to look and see if I have something else that I might only have like one or two of that would fill in here with that color palette, so that I don't have to default to mums if I can avoid that. I want to bring these in right out here. Just like that. I only have two more, so let's put them both in. Then they both get utilized in the design. Babies are here? You're gonna go feed them? Huh? Oh, I thought you said no. I was like, what? I'll just let that be there. Kind of bring this one in right under there, like that. I'm just going to lift these up, kind of tuck that in. Okay, so I'm thinking, don't want to do that. Where's the other one? That's the other one. So let me see what I have besides defaulting to those. Let me look and see what else I have that might work. Stuff that is not new orange. Oh, guys. Oh, I found another one of the anemone plants. So, guess what we're putting in there? That's right. We're going to use these. So look how pretty this is going to be. I'm going to come in with that. I have to watch it because we already have this and we already have that in there. So I am definitely going to be bringing this in, but I'm going to bring the little flower part out to the bottom. So I'm going to do that. So let's push in right in there. And let's take our anemone, and I'm going to bring our anemone right in here. There's just a couple places that I'm looking to just fill, which are obvious, like right here. Okay, there's that. There's that. Let's see, I kind of like I think these are almost cabbage roses. So let's bring this one so I can take it right in here like that, I think. Let me look. Or do we take the other anemone and bring that in? I don't know. I kind of like the anemone, honestly. So let's just tuck that in. I like that. Bring that up and bring this down. I think. I'm still looking. I want to say I think I'm done. I think I'm going to finish with this cabbage rose right here. Just because we had all this floral and then we just ended with nothing but berries and pom-poms. So I'm going to bring that down. Oh, so pretty. It is finished. It is all finished. That's what it looks like from here. I'm looking to make sure I've matched all of my coloring line. I think I have a couple pieces of the firegrass I want to add right here to the outside. Just a couple. Just a couple. And then I want to add another fern because we didn't add any fern at the bottom. I added it to the top, but I didn't add it to the bottom. So I'm just stripping my piece down so that I have a good area to add that to. Okay, and then I set a couple pieces of fern because I'm keeping them at least somewhat. I'm looking for an SE shape one like that. Technically, we could just do that. I'm going to bring that in like right in here, just so that it flows. Like the things that I used at the top are also at the bottom. The things that I used at the bottom are also present at the top. And I'm going to just kind of bend those into that shape. Kind of tuck one of these up under right there. And that should be perfect. Okay. Ready? It's ready to see. I'm going to flip you up. Flipping you up, although the decor on the door is not going to match because it's Christmas stuff, but I definitely wanted to get this one in for you guys. Thank you. So let's put it up on the door. So this is what it looks like from here. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look how great that is. Isn't that pretty? That's everything about fall. So you can go like this for your crescent. You can go like that for your crescent. You can go crescent to the left. You can do crescent to the right. You could do these for double doors and have them go the opposite direction. And they don't have to be matchy-matchy. But I'm going to sit here and pull all the glue threads out because you don't want those showing up in your video. So I'm just doing that now. But see how our lines enabled me to determine the direction I placed my floral by laying out those guidelines in our floral. It helps me to stay within, so I don't have stuff going way out here and way out here and way out here. I kept everything small and confined to the base. I still have the ability, you know, to bend these in different directions if I want. I can take these and tuck that a little closer to the wreath, but I'll get out of the way. So this is a crescent fall floral grapevine, crescent shape, following the guidelines, following all the fun that we had in here with our fern and firegrass and eucalyptus and boxwood, and probably too many for you guys to remember, but there is it zoomed in for you. So that is taking the instructions that we learned a couple weeks ago. I think the name of the class was like the art of autumn, what do you call it? The art of autumn wreaths. So, and you can use this technique for any type of floral wreath. So you have all the notes for the guidelines on how to put those together for fall florals. If you wanted to do the cascading one, you're going to go off. So you might start up here and you might take it here and you might just drape. Everything might just drape here and you just have long swags, or you might come this way and then sweep and have this kind of come as a little S shape, and that would be a cascading design. I'm still working on the one for my friend who wants to do a custom order, because I have to narrow down specifically what is it that they want, and get very, very specific, because she's like, oh, I just want you to add your own thing to it, which she sent me pictures for a reason. So I need to kind of harness in, what is it you like about this picture? What is it you like about that picture? Do you want it long? Do you want it hanging? Do you want this? Do you want that? And until you have all that together, it's really hard for you to be able to kind of put something together that works. But that is all I have for you guys today. Do you feel that the tutorial was helpful in taking the notes and taking what the notes said and showing you what that was when you're putting it together in the grapevine, establishing your line, adding your body, using your filler, then do the same exact thing for your floral. You're coming in with your focal, then your medium, and then you're doing all your detail work, the jewelry as it was. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.